Hi, Alicia. It's okay, this isn't for class, but I just want you to know that I want you to remember that you need to have closed shapes in order to fill them. Okay, now let me describe to you what I'm talking about. I'm going to turn off your interface for right now in your layer palette. Okay, I just turned it off, turned off the eyeball. Now, you have an outer face right below the interface, and that's the one I'm going to use because I'm going to turn on the one which was just the simple lines. And I like how you did this, okay, but I'm going to turn that off and lock it. It's the bottom one. Now I'm going to click on the what you call outline of face, and I'm going to do something. I'm going to turn this into a large fill. So you can see that you don't have to redraw it all, but I need you to see what I'm going to do. So I'm going to duplicate it. Now, I have two of them. I'll turn off the top one and select the bottom one. Now I'm going to move it off the screen by hitting the E key. I'm going to put it over here. And I've noticed that everything in here beautifully overlaps except for one thing, which is right here. Now, I want you to fix that. That's on the upper ear, right next to the upper ear. I just want you to grab that point and just move it into there. That's all I want you to do if you want to do what I'm about to do. Okay, so in order to get this to be one big path, I don't need this shape, so I can delete it. Okay, and I'm going to leave everything else alone. Okay, now, let me see. Yes, I'm going to leave everything else alone. Now I'm going to select all of them by just using the direct selection tool and marquee. I want to get close because I want you to see how I'm going to do this. With everything being a single stroke, I'm going to go to Object, under Object, Path, and outline the strokes. So they become fills. Okay, but that's not the fill that you're going to use yet. Now, what I need to do, and I'm going to get close again to this, is use Window Pathfinder. See where it is right there? Okay, it's on my screen right here. And I'm going to hit the Unite command, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see what's going to happen. It's going to unite everything together. Now I had to overlap the upper thing. Now, let me explain something. I've made, if you look over here, the word compound path. Let me make that slightly bigger so you can see it. Now, what's a compound path? A compound path is two shapes, a smaller one on the inside and a bigger one on the outside. I want to use the direct selection tool and click on, there's two ways I can do this. I'm sorry, I'm not finishing a sentence. I can click on the inner one by itself. Let me just back off and hit delete, and it'll fill up like I just did right there. See how now I have a big shape which you can color. That was your problem. You didn't have a shape you could color. I do now. Now I just have to put it over here and put it down on the bottom of this layer palette. And I'll show you how. But let me Command or Control Z back and show you what I'm talking about the second way to do this. So I can select your compound path by clicking on the circle here. I can go up to Object, Compound Path, and Release. Now the same thing happens, but now I have an inner one and an outer one. So I'm going to select the inner one and just move it away. You might want this one later, but I'm going to pick up this one and move it into your artwork. Now, I'm going to flip it for a second so it's just a stroke. I'm going to turn on your outer and inner one, hit the E key, and reposition this underneath everything. I'll just reposition it like that, right there. That wasn't hard, just reposition it, Brian. Okay, now I'm going to flip it again. I'm going to move it all the way to the bottom, and I'll just give it a gray or a color or something. Okay, so now I can double click it and I can choose a color. Look at how I chose a reddish gray. I know you don't want that, but now I have a fill to work with. So if you want to color things like the nose, you can't just do strokes and expect to color that. You have to actually do an outside shape to fill the whole nose. Well, here again, you have strokes. Now, I could lock everything up and take the time to put all these strokes together, because this one doesn't touch this one, so it wouldn't work exactly like I just did. But remember, you have to actually fill up shapes. So let's just do this ear. So if I select the ear part right there, there's several different little parts to that ear. Here it is. It's a group right there. Now, let me select it again because I have two of them. Where is this? Here is the second one. Okay, so here is your group of that ear. I'm going to move it away for a second. Okay, you have to join this together and then join this together underneath. Now I could easily lock everything else up. I will. So just watch how I do this. Okay, I'm going to use this one down here. This one right there. Okay, but I need to lock everything else up so that I can do what I need to do to that ear. Now I've locked everything else up. I can't touch anything else but this one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my pen and I'm going to click this point here. And just for now, you can do it any way you want, but I'm going to close that shape right there. Then look what I'm going to do here. Click and close that shape right there. Now I can actually put that as a fill on the ear. Now, with this group that I'm selecting, I need to move it below that fill I just did. That's why that line went away right there. Now, I could easily take the eyedropper and eyedrop out that fill. Now, do you see how I have a color on the ear because I have a closed shape? Now, I remember that you have another group with that ear right there, and you can see how I have now the stroke above it. And I could easily take the stroke above it, grab that one, and just move it up a little bit. Whoops, I'm actually grabbing the fill. I have to lock it up and then unlock this ear here. Now I can select this one, take the P key, and just join it in. I can go up like that and now make that longer. I could take this if I wanted to and just move it over so that it kind of overlaps that shape right there. And now I have a filled in ear, which, by the way, if I wanted to, I could unlock it on the bottom, okay, select it, double click that, and just lighten up that ear if I wanted to. So now I could have a different color for that ear. Remember, for anything that you draw and you want to fill, you have to have a closed shape. So not just the strokes above it, but you have to have a closed shape. Now, if I wasn't able to do this faced shape, I'd actually have to use my pen and retrace all my steps and create this fill for the body that I did right there. So I hope that helped, but just remember, to color something, it has to be a finished closed shape. Okay? Thanks.